Hello and welcome to 3D Nato. In today's video, I'll show you how to add tangents from a point with precision drawing tools. I'm going to start by tracing the main outline of the top sketch. What I like to do is to break the sketch into basic shapes. The main shape is an 80 by 50 mm rectangle that contains two slots, a 20 by 25 mm slot and a 30 by 25 mm slot. Now we have a starting point, but first, let's install precision drawing tools. Go to Edit, Preferences, Git Extensions, then search for PDT and install it. To create the outline, I'm going to use Single Vert from the Extra Mesh Objects add-on. Go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, then search for Extra Mesh Objects and check the box to enable it. Let's add a vertex. Press Shift+A to add, go to Mesh, Single Vert, and add Single Vert. Before we start tracing the outline, let's add a mirror modifier. Go to Modifiers, Add Modifier, Generate, add a mirror modifier, and set the axis to Y. Now we just need to extrude this vertex to create the outline. Press E to extrude, Y to lock the axis, type -25, and enter to confirm. Press E to extrude, X to lock the axis, type 80, and enter to confirm. Press E to extrude, Y to lock the axis, type 10, and enter to confirm. Press E to extrude, Y to lock the axis, type 5, and enter to confirm. Since the slots share the same center point, let's create them at the same time. Select both vertices, press Alt+Z to extrude, and select Extrude Vertices. Then press X to lock the axis, type -25, and enter to confirm. Let's create the arcs, but before that, we need to place the 3D cursor. Press N to show the sidebar, go to PDT, and expand the Design Operations tab. Set Working Plane to top, and make sure Select Operation Set to Move Cursor. In the X coordinate, type 80-25, and hit Absolute to place the 3D cursor at 55 mm on the X-axis. To create these arcs, press Shift plus Spacebar and select the Spin tool. Set the axis to Z, then just click, drag and release to create the arc. In the Spin menu, set steps to 16 and the angle to 90 degrees. The top sketch main outline is complete. We just need to fill some faces. Select this edge loop and press F to create a new face. Now holding Ctrl, select this other loop and press F to create a new face. Let's go to the front view so we can add thickness to this mesh. With all faces selected, press E to extrude, type 5, and enter to create the first step. Now we just need to remove the smaller face and extrude it again. Go back to the top view, press 3 to enable face selection, and select the bigger face. Go back to the front view, press E to extrude, type 10, and enter to confirm. Now press Tab to exit edit mode, F2 to rename, and call it Base Mesh. Now I'm going to trace the main outline of the front sketch, so let's break it into basic shapes. Here we have a 12.5 mm radius circle connected by two external tangent lines to create the outline. And inside the circle, there is a 10 mm diameter circle to create a hole. Let's place a 3D cursor to create these circles. In the top view, set the Y coordinate to -25 mm and hit Absolute. In the front view, set the X coordinate to 12.5 mm, the Z coordinate to 15 plus 35 mm, and hit Absolute. Press Shift+A to add, go to Mesh, and add a mesh circle. In the Add Circle menu, set vertices to 64, the radius to 10 mm divided by 2, and align to view. Notice that the circle's X rotation is now set to 90 degrees, and we need to reset it. Otherwise, we'll have problems adding the tangents later on. Press Ctrl+A to apply rotation, and as you can see, all the axes are now set to 0 degrees. As I want both circles to be part of the same mesh, just press Tab to go to Edit mode. Press Shift+A to add, and add a mesh circle. Set vertices to 64, the radius to 12.5 mm, and Align to View. For the next part, it is very important to reset the origin point of the mesh. Press Shift+S to snap and select Cursor to World Origin. Now go to PDT Design Tools and click Origin to Cursor. Now we just need to add the external tangents to close the main outline. Since this sketch only has one circle, we need to add tangents from a point. We don't need to place a 3D cursor here, but I'll do it to help you visualize. In the X coordinate, set it to 35 mm. In the Y coordinate, leave it at -25 mm. In the Z coordinate, set it to 15 mm. Now hit Absolute to place the 3D cursor. To add tangents, expand the PDT Tangents tab. Set Working Plane to Front and Tangent Mode to Front Point. Here we have the X, Y, and Z coordinates of the tangent point. We can set them manually, copy them from the 3D cursor or from a vertex. Since you already did that, click from Cursor to copy the coordinates. Then with the circle selected, press Tangents from Selection. To add the second tangent, set the X coordinate to 0. Then select the circle and press Tangents from Selection. To close the outline, select these two vertices, then press E to extrude, Z to lock the axis, type -15, Enter to confirm, and F to create a new edge. Now let's clean this mesh. Here we're going to need to delete all the vertices inside these tangent lines, and these two black vertices will show us which ones to select. From this black vertex, select the first one to the bottom. Then holding Ctrl, keep selecting the loop until this overlapping one at the left. Now shift select these other two here, press X to delete, and select vertices. To close these gaps, select two vertices and press F to create a new edge. The front sketch main outline is complete. We just need to fill some faces. Select the top half and press F to create a new face. Then select the bottom half and press F to create a new face. As I have face orientation enabled, I can see these faces are not inverted. But as I want them to point in the other direction, let's fix this now. With all faces selected, press Shift plus Ctrl plus N to recalculate inside. Let's go to the top view so we can add thickness to this mesh. Press E to extrude, type 12.5, Enter to confirm, and tap to exit edit mode. Now let's rename this mesh and place it into a Boolean collection. Press F2 to rename and call it boolplus.001. Then press M to move to collection, new collection, and call it boolplus. And since we don't need to see this collection on the viewport, exclude from view layer. Now we just need to add one last modifier and clean the mesh. Go to Modifiers, Add Modifier, Generate, add a Boolean Modifier, and place it at the top. Set it to Union, operand type to Collection, select the boolplus collection, and set it to Manifold. Then with the mouse over the modifier, press Ctrl plus A to apply them. Now we just need 4 steps to clean this mesh. Create some support loop cuts, remove the interior faces created by the mirror modifier, delete the edge loop at the bottom face, and check that there are no duplicate vertices. To clean the mesh, press Tab to go back to edit mode. Let's create some support loop cuts. Press Shift plus Tab to enable snap, and Shift plus Ctrl plus Tab to set it to vertex. Now press Ctrl plus R to create a loop cut, then just click and snap it to this vertex here. Repeat on the other side, select these two vertices, and press J to connect vertex path. Now let's remove the interior faces. Press Alt plus A to select none, go to Select, select all by trait, and choose interior faces. Then press X to delete, and select faces. Now let's delete the edge loop at the bottom face. Select the edge loop, then press X to delete, and select Dissolve Edges. And to make sure we don't have any duplicate vertices, press A to select all, and M to merge by distance. The mesh is complete. Just press Tab to exit edit mode, right mouse, and choose Shade Auto Smooth.